You too. We back at y'all again. It's Comedy and Consciousness with another live. Just gonna be not too quick, but it ain't gonna be the longest live. We're gonna talk about a couple things, and then we're gonna go on and get up out of here. Now, I had a live that I did really like a week ago, a little over a week ago, and the subject of the live was basically that you shouldn't too tough let hard times get you in a position where you want to give up, because them hard times, if you really take it to as what it is, and if you keep trucking and you learn from the situation and you don't let the situation make you into a victim, those hard times are going to get you in a position to where when the next hard time comes, when the next struggle, when the next obstacle comes your way, you're going to be able to handle it. I myself, we was going through something, and I'll be a little transparent. We lost child care, man. We lost child care. And not to go all the way into it, but we kind of knew this was coming. It was either going to be us pulling the baby out or them, doing what they was going to do because of the situation that I won't give too much details in. And it just happened at a point where it wasn't the most ideal thing for our child or for us. And the thing that was good though was that I recently, I changed jobs a couple of months ago, and it was a real hard thing. I was kind of going through it at my other job. That's why I'm doing this live, because I made a video about this, but I was kind of going through it, so I ain't really get to touch all the points that I want to touch. But if I wouldn't have left that toxic job, I wouldn't have been in the best position to go through what we're going through now. And there is some light at the tunnel. I don't want to speak too much on it. I don't want to spoil anything, but we should be getting straight. But thankfully, with me being able to switch jobs, I was able to take some time off with the benefits that I have, so that this tough time, because like bro, like a lot of people will look at kids and say, and think like, the kids don't have no mind or they don't know what's going on, but it's not the case. Everybody been stressed out. The baby been stressed out because it's totally, her schedule done been turned upside down. My girl been stressed out, but it's some light at the end of the tunnel. But I just want to say, bro, we live in this society where it's just kind of pushed to be a victim. Victim culture is a real thing out here nowadays, and a lot of people, will be conditioned to kind of take a step back or not go as hard if they're going through something. And that's just not the way to go, bro. It's not going to help you get through what you're going through, and it's not going to be the best mindset to have if you don't want to go through whatever you're going through again. So I would say from experience that if you're going through something, bro, just go through it. Just experience it. Life is not going to be easy. Life is not going to be just peaches and cream. I know a lot of people, they get down and they may get depressed and anxious because they go through things in life, but that's just life, bro. You just got to go through it to grow through it. And it may sound cliche, but if you actually just experience things and take stuff how it come, then you're gonna get somewhere, and you're gonna build yourself up and get stronger as a result of it. So let's get into the subject, the title of this video. Dang near 30 with no friends. When I say no friends, I mean I ain't got no day-to-day dudes. I don't, it ain't nobody I keep up with at all. And this ain't come out of nowhere. It was kind of a culmination of things, because it definitely wasn't like this my whole life. But we can start from the beginning. I think everything kind of got murky. Like, of course, when you go into high school, people that you were in school with from, I'd say because I was in school with kind of the same people from about 5th to 8th grade. Once I went to high school, we all kind of branched off. Um, and I made new friends at the high school I went to, but I changed high schools. So you go to change in high schools. I'm still keeping in contact with certain people I grew up with, went to middle school with, went to high school with. But once I got in the 11th grade, I moved to another state. And when I moved to another state, it was a culture shock. I made friends, but it was never like just the homies that I grew up with. You know, it was never like that type of bond. And I made friends with people from church. So I think that was kind of like a preconceived notion. Hey, we are Christian, we go to church. So, you know, that's why we cool. So once I kind of left Bible school, once I kind of strayed away from that, you know, the Christian aspect, I didn't really have a group. And I made friends, you know, here and there, but things would happen and like it would just be clear to me like, bruh, you not really ever gonna have the friends that you had when you were growing up because you didn't grow up with these people that you're meeting. They don't have that same sense of loyalty. And I think nowadays, especially in Florida, I think some people, like if you're not like a day one, they don't really see much loyalty in you, and they're gonna probably use you to their advantage, other as opposed to, you know, building with you and, you know, rocking out with you. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but also I was in a position when I was in Florida being homeless for the first couple of years coming out of high school. I was kind of trying to get my feet under me. And getting my feet under me, I'm trying to work, go to school. So friendship, it really wasn't a priority for me because I had not yet realized the value of friends and having relationships. That was not a thing for me. Like I'm kind of still getting an understanding of that because I just been, you know, rocking out on my own for so long from a male perspective, like being around dudes. And I had homies, like I had people that I was cool with. I could I could say that I have a couple of friends if I was to move back down to Florida that I considered true genuine people. But moving back up to Pittsburgh, and another thing, like when I was in high school, I didn't have no cell phone. So as far as communication goes, I didn't I didn't get a cell phone until I was like it was like the end of 11th grade, and I mean like a consistent cell phone because I started paying for it myself. And when you don't have that type of communication in this generation, millennials, younger millennials, because I was born in '95, right at the cutoff, millennials and stuff, you don't really have that connection with people. So when I moved up here because I had also been in situations where it was like you see people's true colors. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't in the streets, but I was street adjacent, and I seen how certain black men just looked at other black men. I seen how, you know, it was kind of like a crab in a barrel mentality, and I never really had grasped that whole aspect until I was a young adult because unfortunately I did not grow up in like an all black community. So I didn't really understand the how people can get into beef. I didn't understand how there is a lot of beef between black men and how it can come about because even being street adjacent, I was not around younger, you know, fresher guys in the streets that are kind of beef ready. You know, dudes kind of on the money tip, and I guess that was really a good thing when I look at it. Once I started gaining an understanding of this street stuff and oh, I lost my bike. Hold on. This street stuff and you know what really goes into it. I hope I'm not too loud. So as me and my girl get together, you know, I kind of tried to reconnect with certain people, and I, try to rekindle certain friendships. But I think you, if you're not around people for a long time, you're you're not like, say you're, as far as hanging with people day to day, you start to veer off, and you start to have different values. You start to have different sets of morals, and honestly, bro, it just didn't align with it didn't align with a lot of my old friends, and I was kind of on some other stuff, trying to stay out the way, not really trying to get into BS, not really on, that young dude stuff, where you kind of like stuck in limbo. You're an adult, but you still kind of want to have fun. You still want to get out here and chase girls. I was off that. I was past that mindset. And also, I moved over to another side of town. So it was just like, bruh, I really, like, I mess with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm always messing with them in a certain aspect, but it was some things going on that I didn't want to be a part of. Certain things that people was into that I didn't want to be associated with. And this is when I started gaining and grasping this thing about, black men kind of being their own worst enemy. So I'm seeing people that, I'm hanging with, kind of, keeping in contact with, and I'm seeing, oh wow, you got real street beef. You got real problems out here. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow, this happened? Huh. Oh, this is that serious. Okay. I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing how, because like I worked for the police for a very brief time back, probably a little over 10 years ago when I was in Tampa. So I had a little bit of knowledge on how people can get caught up on the internet, and I was seeing people doing stuff that could get them caught up on the internet. And it was just like, I don't want to be attached to this. I don't want to go to jail just for being friends with certain people. So that kind of led to me backing off people. And again, I'm still not looking at the aspect of, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But looking over the years, seeing the people that, I kind of like just was like, I don't really want to be associated. Yeah, there's a friendship there, but we can kind of leave it there. And sometimes this wasn't even my decision. It may be another person's decision. I believe that, bro, if I would have tried to hold on to certain friendships, if I would have tried to just be around people, just to have people to be around, I don't know if life would be as fruitful as it is. I don't know if, certain things that we have sidestepped and we have avoided, living in a city that where most people our age and our race cannot avoid or seem not to be able to avoid. I don't think it would be as, because it's not sweet, life is life, but I don't think we would live the life that we live. Um, Another thing, bro, like I went through, because at a time, bro, I don't know if it's just the type of family I come from or the type of person I am. My closest friend was a family member, and we had a falling out, and the falling out was so crazy because I was being portrayed, or the person made up a situation to portray me as a person that I had never been to them. And it being a loner, I kind of lean into being a loner because of the way that society is. It's soft. A lot of guys, they're a little feminine, they're a little vaginal, and I'm not talking about sexual orientation at all. I'm just talking about their outlook on the world, their outlook on another man associated to them seemingly being successful, seemingly being better off than they are, because I don't really know how people are, and I just don't really be thinking about all that because I be focused on what I'm doing and what I got going on. But a situation occurred to where someone that I was close to, we had a certain relationship, a certain unspoken understanding over the years that if one of us wasn't on their stuff, the other one could let you know, hey man, tighten up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get away from that, or you doing this, or you want to take this opportunity, bro, because it's sweet, and we appreciated each other for that. But I think years of not actually being physically around each other, that and maybe the person being in the situation that they were in, and kind of being in environments where men holding men accountable is kind of looked down upon, especially in our age bracket. I think there was some resentment that grew. The thing was that when I was into stuff that I had no business dealing with, I had no actual idea of what I was actually getting into if things were to go wrong and I would have been down bad. This was the person that was telling me, yo, bro, this shit ain't it, bro. You really got to get away from this, bro. You keep, and this isn't what I was doing, but this is what he said. Keep moving packs, and it's you gonna get what you're looking for. So I had always appreciated that, because for me, bro, when it's somebody that you with every day, it's somebody that's like looking at you making moves, and if they care about you enough to let you know, bro, all the what you're doing is BS, and it's not even helping you. You're really going out sad because it's to another person's benefit. If they care about you enough to let you know that, you should, if they ever get in a situation like that, why wouldn't you let them know that? That would be the best thing, to reciprocate that energy. So a situation kind of came up where it was kind of like that, and mind you, this is not, because some people, they like to quote unquote tell people about themselves to make themselves feel better by making a person feel bad or look down upon themselves. This was not that, but it was made to be that in the situation. And I'm not gonna lie, that hurt me, that turned me off, because it's like, damn, bro, how can a person that knows me so well, knows that I'm genuine, knows that I'm like, bro, I'm not a sneak disser. I would just let you know, I would dish you to your face. I just don't think that's righteous. I don't think it's masculine to just send subliminal shots and try to let a person know how you feel, when you could just let somebody know how you feel straight up. That's just the person I am. So once that happened, I was I think the baby was maybe like anywhere from 5 to 8 months old. I kind of was just like, F these dudes, man, because I had just been in so many situations where it's like, oh, we cool, but you lightweight feel away that a nigga is trying to make a way in life, that a nigga is trying to do something different than what I was brought up in. Like, why would you feel a way that I'm trying to do right by my family? Why would you feel a way that I'm trying to get a better job and put my family in a better position? Why would you feel a way that I have a strong relationship? I just don't understand that. I think that's bitch shit, bro. To be mad at somebody because their situation may, as far as in whatever aspect, may be better than what you have going on, because it's not their fault that that's the case. It's your fault. If you want a situation, like if you see somebody doing well, and you would like to do what they not necessarily, because that's lame too, trying to be like somebody. You shouldn't idolize people in that way. But if you see somebody and you see that they're where you want to be, why don't you do what they did to get to where you want to be? Being mad at them and being jealous and trying to disparage them and saying, oh, and trying to downplay what they got going on, that's not going to help you. And it was like the thing is, bro, like when fallouts happened, it was with people that I don't necessarily see every day. Some people that are in different states from me. And I was just thinking in my head, because things like this have happened to me. How would this have gone if this person had access to me? How would this have gone if this was a person I was with every day? And I don't think it would have went well. I don't think it would have. I think my safety would have been in jeopardy. I think my freedom would have been in jeopardy, just over some feelings that you have created for me. So that kind of pushed me away even more with just trying to just be cool with people. Another thing, bruh, we live in an area where it's one of the more safer areas in the city, and the reason we live over here is because we have a daughter. But I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know what it is. People do not f with us, and I'll be straight up with you. Pittsburgh is a city where the average person has a pretty fucked up disposition. It's just like like the average person that lives here is not a happy person. They are fueled by negativity. They kind of like to get into drama. It's just a lot of he say, she say, tearing each other down type BS. And it's not it's across all races. That's just how people are here, but it's even worse for black people. So I kind of get the feeling that, like, I've always felt like this, that YT people kind of want us to be under them, so they're not going to help you unless it's really benefiting them. And if you're not really somebody that's like a bootlicker or want to be up under somebody and somebody that can be easily swayed by opinions, then they're going to try to keep you out because they can't control you. And with that being the way that it is here, like, bro, I usually be the youngest dude that not the youngest guy, but the youngest black guy that's in the jobs that I be at. I can't tell you in the last, even when I was working in the warehouse, bro, and like when I worked with somebody my age, of my race, for an extended period of time. In the last 3 years, definitely, I haven't seen me at all. Like maybe older black guys, or if there is somebody close to my age, they think that they not black, or they maybe come from a family that has connections, so they look at me as somebody that they don't really want to be bothered with. So my perspective, because I don't want people to hear this and think that I just think all people are bad and there's nobody worthy of being a friend. But my perspective has definitely been skewed. And when you become a parent, I think there are just, you do kind of take a step back in the friendship zone. And with me not really being 100 with people before I was really becoming a parent, because I kind of started, like, when my girl was pregnant, there was things that happened within family that could have put me in jeopardy. So I kind of shut down, bro, and was just like, for lack of a better terms, fuck these niggas, because niggas be just having it's every man. The thing is, bro, there's things that everybody does across all races, but when it comes to black people, we suffer at a bigger extent because of our positioning and how a lot of us have started out, as far as like how we start out adulthood, how our childhood has went. So with this every man for himself mindset, bro, a nigga cut your hand off, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure his pinky don't get punctured a little bit. If you understand the analogy. And bro, I've always looked at it, even and I never thought that we wouldn't have any support system as we really don't now, as far as a quote unquote village that people like to say on the internet. But I knew it wasn't going to be that deep, even if the people that, we don't really rock with now was still around. So I kind of sacrificed friendship. I've sacrificed relationships for the sake of my kid, because the way that things work, birds of a feather flock together. And also, bro, I'm the type of person, bro, if I don't meet you and I'm like, all right, he cool, it's genuine, I'm not pushing for no friendship. Like I'm just not the guy that is going to be like, hey, being friends with this person is going to get me this and this. So I'm just going to fake the funk, do this and that so I can get to a certain place. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And honestly, bro, the remedy for this, I believe, is to move to another city. I think that we've gotten to the point where we've kind of outgrown the vibes of this city, because we're like there's a lot of people, bro. Is people gonna get mad. I think Pittsburgh is a low vibrational city, a low vibrational city in its entirety. I'm not saying that everybody here is low vibrational, but a lot of people are. And when they see that your disposition is not just, just shitty and just miserable, it's a lot of miserable people here. And there's a lot of reasons to be miserable here, you know what I'm saying? But that's just not my thing. It's never been my thing. And people have always called me weird here. People have always said, you're strange, you know what I'm saying? But I never really cared, because me being a joyful person, me being upbeat, I just wake up and I'm happy to be here. That's not a bad thing, bro. It's not cool to have a shitty disposition. It's not cool to be miserable in life because you don't have everything you want. It's not something to desire, bro. I don't look up to people that make fun of people because they want to bring them down to earth, quote unquote, because that's what people do here, because people just have shitty outlooks on the world. And I think if I do want to find a tribe, if I do want to meet like genuine people, we have to move somewhere, probably going to have to move somewhere where the cost of living is a little better, where there's a little bit more resources, so that we're in a position to where we're around people, we're in atmospheres where people are not just miserable all the time and they just don't have an outlook like they can't do anything because this, that, and the third, the government. Because fam, I'll tell you, bruh, just working, being usually the only young black guy in the room, sometimes in the freaking building, bro. It's rough out here for us. It's rough out here for us. And I'm not going to say that part of it's not our fault. I'm not going to say that part of it isn't because of the normalization of single parent households, the normalization of sexualizing women, the normalization of simp culture with the way that men treat women. I'm not, because these are things that we can control, but it's definitely not as easy for a black masculine male, and I would dare to say in America, than it is that has principles, that has a moral compass than it is for somebody that wants to go along to get along. And I think certain things that I've learned just being in the workforce for my whole adult life, I've learned how to acclimate to certain things. I've learned that sometimes, bruh, most of the time, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about what value this person has, and if you causing issues, and if you causing a ruckus. Like, it's just so many things that I've been open to knowing because I've been in situations where it's like I've tried to act like I know everything, and I've suffered for it because not necessarily I was wrong, but I just didn't understand the hierarchy of things, and I was so much on, oh, this is wrong, this is right, and I wasn't really weighing my options and weighing the leverage that I had. So yeah, bro, niggas be living far. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dudes that do live over here. I told a story a couple months ago, and I'm not gonna get into the story, but it was basically some other black people that was doing some suspicious things towards me. Not like just being suspicious and I'm out here just being a Karen or something. But I told a story, and then energy I was getting from people associated with them, I was just like, this is weird. And it kind of makes me more, not want to like just be out there. And I'm open to like, it's not that I'm a person where it's like no new friends. I'm not friendly. At a certain time, I definitely was not friendly and wasn't looking to be cool with people. But since leaving a work from home job and going to a job where you go in every day and being around people, I'm not against not having friends, but I'm also not going to jeopardize my integrity, my safety, my freedom, the sanctity of my family just to be around people. Because when you see certain things in people and then you brush it off to the side, by time you have gotten in the situation where you saw was coming, it's going to be too late. And I just don't have that to jeopardize. I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I don't have the village to where a mistake like that could where I could just fall back and be helped out by other people, and my kid wouldn't be affected by it. So I think that's just the sacrifice that I'm in right now. I think I'm in a season, and I think the season has lasted longer than it's needed to because I didn't necessarily realize, hey, you got to tighten up and use this space and this time that you have to where when you're not, you don't, where you could be hanging out with people to better yourself. But I mean, that's just what it is, man. Sometimes you do have to be in seasons of isolation, seasons where you're a loner, because you gotta fulfill your purpose. Now, am I trying to do this my whole life? No. Am I trying to do this the next 5 years? No. But next 2-3 years, if this is what I have to do to where we can get in a position to where we can move, to where we can be, because I honestly, bro, when I lived in Florida, I kind of felt like I was in my element, like I was around like-minded people, and I guess that's because that's where I'm from, and people are just a little bit more. They're just not as uptight and not as so involved with going along to get along with the cool crew, because you can do what you want to a certain extent and not be judged for it as the extent you would be judged living in a smaller town. Yeah, man. I don't know if y'all can still hear me. But I'm gonna just close this out. But I'm gonna finish what I was saying, and it's probably gonna cut me off. And maybe not Florida, but I just want to move somewhere where it's just a different vibe, you know. And I'm not, but people, we kind of have an unhappy, shitty disposition of people, with people being so sucked into the internet, doom scrolling, and all of that. But still, bruh, we got to spread our wings, because just living in your hometown, you don't want to stay too long, because it's just the same stuff, same outlooks, same types of people. You want to be different, and you want to see different things. And I would like my daughter to grow up in a different environment. So hopefully y'all hear this last part, because it's still frozen on my end. But yeah, we're gonna be back. I don't know what's coming next, but we out, and y'all stay up.